Hey guys, welcome to the Titanium Vault. I'm your host, RJ Bates. Today I'm sitting down with my new partners, Ryan Robeson and Jamie Woolley. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. So why don't we take a quick second? Ryan, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell everybody what it is that you do in the real estate investing world.
Well, I've been doing this for about 10 years and just entered my second market. I saw what you were doing, RJ, and got excited and said, maybe I should get out of Phoenix and do something somewhere else. So I'm in Albuquerque and Phoenix right now. So doing both those markets, we mostly flip. We're not doing a lot of wholesale deals. Love flipping. I hate leaving money on the table. I think there's so much talk out there with wholesaling and how exciting it is, but I enjoy flipping. I enjoy the design and fixing and flipping. That's my main area of expertise.
Awesome. How many deals a year are you doing right now?
We are between 70 and 100 every year.
That's crazy. And majority of that's flipping. So how many wholesales do you think you do a year?
2 or 3.
Wow. So yeah, I have a lot to learn from my new partner about flipping houses here. So Jamie, why don't you take a quick second?
So I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth market here. I started business in the beginning of 2016. We are now currently, we do mostly wholesale, so I'd say about 85 to 90% we do wholesale. The rest we do fix and flip and owner finance, buy and hold, things like that. So about 100 plus deals a year is what we're doing. I've got a team of about 12 people. So that's kind of what that looks like.
Awesome. So as I'm sure you can all tell, we're all wearing our Next Level Flipping shirts. So we're going to briefly talk about that. That's our new company together. Ryan, you were the thought process, the visionary behind Next Level Flipping. So take a quick second to let everybody know, what is Next Level Flipping?
I appreciate you asking. So what really, where it stemmed from was I had been a part of and am a part of multiple masterminds that require so much travel. And for me, I would go to these masterminds for 2 or 3 days and just be drinking out of a fire hose the whole time. And I just thought there's got to be another way to get really, really good content out there and help people out without having to travel. And there's a lot of people in our industry, and I'm friends with some of them, and as you guys probably are too, that focus on the Lamborghinis and the mansions, and that's kind of their pitch, right? Almost like the Grant Cardone pitch, which again, I've learned a lot from Grant Cardone. But our mastermind, we wanted it to make it more family focused and how to become a better husband and wife and a better person and scale and grow your business with that work-life balance. So that's some of the reasons why I started it and kind of how it got off the bat. It actually, we started it without thinking it was going to turn into a mastermind, and it grew into this thing that it flowed into its own almost. It kind of created itself in a way.
Yeah, I remember you initially, when you created Next Level Flipping, it was just a Facebook group. And you had reached out to me and you said, hey, I've been following you on Facebook for a while. I'd love for you to engage in this group. I'm trying to create something special here with a bunch of high level, very targeted investors to be in this group. And I learned right away that, I mean, you were absolutely correct with the amount of people that you targeted and who you targeted. I mean, the content was amazing right from the beginning. And this is rare for me because I always preach, don't have analysis paralysis, but I almost had like paralysis in the group where I was like, I don't even know how much or what kind of content I can provide to some of these members. And it was amazing from the beginning. So now Next Level Flipping has evolved to be an online mastermind. So let's talk about that real quick. And Jamie, maybe you can jump in here. What's the difference between an online mastermind compared to a regular mastermind?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So an online mastermind, basically everything that we do as far as mastermind and learning and education and growth is done online. Ryan had the inspiration and the vision because of traveling and those things. And I felt the same pain points, when we had our initial discussion about the group and what that could evolve and look like. So the online mastermind is basically all of these investors that we in the beginning, Ryan kind of handpicked and has evolved to people that we, find out, are they a good fit or not to be in the mastermind? We're basically throwing out just all types of knowledge and questions and Zoom calls and just random information that you're going to need in your business. I have questions every single day that I want to ask somebody. And yes, I have a large network and I can ask somebody. But again, that's one person, or maybe I call 2 people. It's great to have a question about your business, whether it's scaling or flipping or construction or virtual or buy and holds or owner finance, multifamily, whatever it is. Someone in our group knows the answer and has the answer, and usually multiple people will chime in, if not 50 people at one time. So it's nice to get that feedback right then when you want it. I think to me that's the biggest difference between my mastermind that I'm in and an online mastermind as far as the next level flipping, is that instant answer that you need, and that being able to collaborate on a daily basis, any time of the day or night, to be able to get what you're needing today in your business quickly.
So both of y'all have mentioned about like buying back your time, right? Time's important, travel, things like that. I think a lot of times we automatically assume everybody knows what we're talking about because they've attended some kind of a mastermind. But what I've learned definitely through the podcast and just talking to some of the listeners is a lot of people, they don't join masterminds, right? They're a high price point. And so not everybody's been involved in that. So Ryan, real quick, why don't you kind of talk about what is that buying back your time and what's the difference between it? Because maybe not everybody has attended one of these masterminds that we've been a part of.
Look, cutting a check for 20 or 30 grand and committing to a mastermind without ever really going to an event and knowing what you're getting yourself into it's hard. And what I found with most people is they'll go to 2 or 3 events, get a ton of value, and then it kind of starts leveling out a little bit. And for me personally, I missed 2 out of the 4 of my masterminds in 1 year for travel, and my son had a soccer game. And it was frustrating because you prepay for those events, right? You pay the one-time check up front, and then if you don't attend an event, it's not like you get your money back. So buying back your time is joining an online mastermind where you don't have to prepay for services you don't need, you don't use. We have an annual event, but if you don't attend the annual event, you're not prepaying for it, right? That's paid separately. So it really allows you, as Jamie said it, and it's funny to show you an example. I mean, Bill Ross commented in our group the other day. Billy Ross is a super awesome guy out of Florida. That what he loves about our group is, it was a really nice comment of him to make, that when he has a question, he has a need right now in his business, there's 20 or 30 people that will jump in within an hour or 2 and answer his need, or jump on a Zoom call and answer his need. Where in some of the other masterminds I've been in, you wait until you go to the next meeting to get that question answered. Now, with that being said, I think there's some value in going to those, right? You get value out of relationships in person. But the opportunity to change your business and get questions answered on a dime is what really, really sets us apart. And when you're going to think about joining a mastermind, you really need to focus on what kind of value do I need in my business, and will these people be able to give me that value?
It's funny you bring that up because that was a perfect segue in the next thing I wanted to talk about. It's almost like we scripted this, but while creating some of our marketing videos, Jamie and Ryan learned that I don't like scripting anything. So this is definitely not scripted. So often I hear people when they talk about a mastermind, it's almost kind of like, my businesses are already successful. Why would I pay to join an online group when there's so much content available on YouTube and on these free Facebook groups? Why would I pay to be a part of another Facebook group? Jamie, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so that is a good question, and it makes a lot of sense, and that's what a lot of people do think. I've heard that many times before. I spoke with someone recently, and they had never been in a mastermind before, and they liked the way their business was going, and they said, look, everything's going well. I do want to grow, but I don't know that I want to go to all these masterminds and figure all this out. I think when you go to a mastermind, you're hearing about 100 different people's businesses all at once. And if you're anything like me and most entrepreneurs, you get really, really excited and you can sometimes have the shiny object syndrome. Then when you get home, you've got, 10 pages and you're not really sure where your focus is or what you're doing. The great thing about the online mastermind is I can go in and I can look around and see maybe what I'm looking for and sometimes browse, but I really just want to get my question answered, help somebody that has a question that I can help answer. And I'm not seeing 100 people getting up telling me how they're killing it and they're making millions of dollars. And I'm like, I want to be like you. I want to be like you. So it kind of helps me focus, honestly. I have that definitely the squirrel, mentality. People say that all the time, squirrel. I'm like, yeah, because that's just my personality. So I think that it really helps me stay focused on what I'm trying to do, what I need to learn, and it's not just everything at once. Ashlyn has questions, who's my COO, and she'll say, Jamie, what do you think we should do about this? And honestly, I swear probably 50% of my answers to her are now, let me post that in NLF and I'll get back to you tomorrow and we'll talk about what we're going to do. Just because I want that feedback from people, and we're using it every single week, like in our business between my COO and myself in our same page meetings, literally.
Well, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again because this is the most direct impact that masterminds have had on our company. 100% of our private capital, minus one investor who is my high school football coach. Okay, I can't. That's just a unique situation. But 100% of the rest of the private capital that we've raised, which all of our deals are done through private capital, have come from people inside masterminds. And the reason why is because we get to know each other, and we get to have these in-depth conversations about each other's businesses. And you get to learn who you want to work with and why. And that alone is such a reason to be in masterminds, because it's just broadening your network and opening up opportunities that otherwise wouldn't have been there. Jamie, you just brought up a point about Ashlyn, your COO, being inside Next Level Flipping. Ryan, I want you to touch base on this. This was one of the things that I thought stood out about Next Level Flipping, about who can be in Next Level Flipping on your team compared to what other masterminds are like.
So my sales manager that trains all of our acquisition reps and holds weekly sales meetings, I've got him in Next Level Flipping. And honestly, he doesn't read every post. Not everything applies to him. But when something comes up and somebody posted in there the other day that all of their deals are coming from text messages, and they're having their acquisition reps send the text messages out, reply to the text message, go on appointments instead of doing it through a VA like a lot of us do with the different text messaging programs. I tagged him in that directly, and he was able to go in there, read the comments, be involved, ask questions back and forth. And it wasn't me trying to regurgitate to him what I think I understood about that post, or bring him into my office to read the post. And there's multiple times when we're talking about how to, acquire better, how to structure deals with acquisition reps, that having him in the group is super beneficial for him to interact. There's people in the group that have their marketing directors, they have their COOs in there, their project managers, and they tag them consistently when there's a post that has to do with that, and their project manager is able to go in and ask questions and be involved in that.
Yeah, and the direct comparison on this, and again, I want to reiterate, we are believers in masterminds, okay? And we feel like there is a place for the in-person masterminds. Next Level Flipping is an added bonus, a different structure to that, okay? But the difference is when we go attend our masterminds, it's ourselves and our partner. And it's usually 3 days, jam-packed, full of content. And there might be the most amazing, moment for that sales manager or for the COO who's not at that meeting, which may or may not make it down in my notebook and make it in my notes, which then might have a 10% chance of actually being touch base when I come back and we debrief from the meeting, right? So that's one of the largest differences just in the content availability for your team members. Jamie, I know you've been directly in charge of one of the other, I keep saying everything's great about it, but hey, it's my company and it's our company, so I can say that, right? And this is also my podcast. So if I get sales pitchy, well, that's okay. So Jamie, what about these discounts that we got? You skip trace. I mean, what you're skip tracing like the whole state of Texas, right?
I'm skip tracing a lot. I actually got minimum, and we're not even, this was only like part of the year, but over $10,000 I actually saved from being in the group. So if I was to not be a part of the group as far as on a founder level, then therefore I would save, what's that, $7,500 my first year within the group. And that was only part of the year. So the discounts that we have are absolutely amazing. Basically, if you can think of any service in our industry that you would utilize within your business, whether that is a CRM software, whether that is a texting platform, and that is a skip tracing platform, Wise Hire, how you hire, list providers, just almost anything you can think of. Gary and Susan with Sharper, how to do EOS within your business. We really tried to get the best of the best. And again, I feel very lucky to have learned from some amazing mentors along the way and been in some really great different places and met different people. And I really feel like we brought together who we feel truly are passionate about their business. They're going to be on the up and coming of whatever's next within their software or platform or service. So we're not going to have to pick who's doing something different than this person, because they're always evolving, they're always changing, they're always making their service better. And that's why we went with the service providers that we went with. But I'm telling you, like, it'll easily pay for the membership if you're doing business, and you'll actually save quite a bit of money. So it's
actually cool. When we were talking about this, and this is like complete transparency, okay? Jamie and I, we flew out to Phoenix to go to Ryan's office. We're sitting down. We're talking about some content, some marketing videos that we're going to make. And we're just kind of going through the bullet points of like, why is Next Level Flipping an amazing product and a great online mastermind to be a part of. And Jamie is literally talking about the discounts that you get for being a member of Next Level Flipping. And we actually broke it down. To date, she has actually profited by being in the group just on the amount of money that she saved on skip tracing. She was going to skip trace whether or not she's in the group or not. So it's actually profitable to be a part of the group, which is, I mean, that's probably the case for most masterminds to some degree, because you're gonna learn, you're gonna get some kind of value. But just strictly on a vendor discount, that's amazing. So Ryan, I want you, now that I'm talking about it, break down the two different groups that we have and what that looks like financially for people. We've talked everybody up. I'm sure they want to know what that looks like price point wise. So break down the two different groups that we have for everybody.
Yeah, and absolutely appreciate that. And to kind of transition, these discounts apply to both groups, right? So if you're a member of one group, you get the discounts, remember the other. And even more transparent, I mean, this is the highest level skip tracing possible. Like, it's the best of the best companies we're getting this data from. And if you're a part of our group, you get it at 12 cents a record. There's nobody out there that is working as hard as Jamie, RJ, and I to go leverage the power of our group with these service providers. And I'm saying 12 cents now. Believe me, we're going to grind, and we're going to find someone at 11 and 10, and we're going to get this cost. We're constantly working on your guys' behalf to get the best rates possible. And I want to put the other masterminds on notice on this call. If you're watching this, why are you not doing this for your members? Like, that was one of my biggest issues. I've been a part of the 3 largest masterminds out there, and they're not doing this for their members. They're not out there grinding to get better deals for their members. We do that on a daily basis for you guys. All right, back to your question, RJ. Sorry, I had to get on my soapbox for a little bit. You're over there laughing at me. So we have started the Next Level Flipping group, which is people doing 25 or more deals a year and have a scaling mindset, have teams already in place, and they're looking to be around guys that are doing 50, 100, 200, 300 deals a year. And there's a guy in there doing 1,200 deals a year, right? Like, it's ridiculous. And we started getting all these applicants of people doing 3, 4, 5, up to 25 deals. And I realized, the majority of the population needs the most help between 5 and 25. There is a huge issue or big gap in the mastermind market for people who are doing 5 to 25 deals a year of how to get to that next level. Because when you're doing 10 deals a year, you probably can't afford 20 or 30 grand a year at a mastermind, right? And you might be paying for it. You may or may not be able to afford it. But to be able to be a part of a group that'll, for a lot less money, help you get to that next level is huge. And I think there's a huge, huge opportunity for you, if you're watching this, to join this and be a part of a group that is motivated to get you to more than 25 deals a year if you're not there. How to get a team. And RJ, I'll let you talk a little bit about it, because I know, full disclosure, you're going to help run that group, right? You're in charge of getting that group going. So I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah. So for everybody that's already kind of known about Next Level Flipping, because it's been out for a couple months now. Originally it was just Ryan and Jamie, and that's where I kind of came in. Is they saw a need for people doing 5 to 25 deals a year. At that point in time, literally turning down a business and opportunities, and also good people that we want to be able to help and network with. And Jamie and Ryan reached out to me and offered the position to me to come in and be a partner in Next Level Flipping and really focus on what we're calling the Next Level Flipping Rising Stars program. It's going to be a separate group from the original Next Level Flipping. It's going to be for people that are doing 5 to 25 deals a year. And my goal is, just to be completely frank with you, is to get you into that Next Level Flipping group. I want to personally be involved and find ways that I can show you how to scale your business up to where you're doing 25 plus deals a year. And this is something that I'm already passionate about, right? I mean, we just had our 2-year anniversary of having the podcast. I've never once monetized this podcast outside of deals or JV opportunities or private capital coming my way. This is the first time I've ever tried to sell anything on the podcast. And the reason why is because I've never been passionate about it as anything as much as I am about the Next Level Flipping. I very much look forward to it. We're going to be bringing you the discounts with the vendors, but we're also going to be transparent within our businesses. Jamie and I were talking this morning. We're looking over a deal here in DFW where it's a portfolio that's actually coming from another member of Next Level Flipping. And I said, this would be great content for the Rising Stars program. We'll literally just go live. We don't have to share the addresses because some of you might be a little bit shady. We won't share the addresses, but we'll just sit here and we'll break down and we'll analyze it right there live for you guys. We're going to do regular Zoom calls. We're going to bring in guests. We're going to bring in people from the Next Level Flipping group to just add content. But on top of that, it's just building that network of other members and being highly engaged in the group. So I highly look forward to that. Just to give you guys an idea of the expenses here, for if you're going to join the Next Level Flipping group and you're doing 25 or more deals a year, that is $2,500 a year. There is a monthly fee on that, or a monthly payment plan where you could do $250 a month. The Rising Stars program. So this is where if you're doing 5 to 25 deals a year, that's going to be $1,000 a year, or it's going to be $100 a month. Which is one of the things that we're very passionate about. This is far more affordable than the other masterminds out there. Jamie, real quick, why don't you kind of jump in here? We kind of forgot about you there for a second. So jump in on your thoughts about the Rising Stars program and the kind of the content that we're going to provide for people. I really want them to understand what we're going to be doing there, because I think that's going to be a massive opportunity for a ton of our listeners. Just from the feedback that I've gotten from people, I think 5 to 25 is the vast majority of my listeners. So what kind of content do you anticipate for our listeners there?
I do agree that is probably the vast majority. When I do the speaking events or podcasts or things like that, people will reach out to me and say, do you mentor? Do you have a coaching program? And I'll be honest, that's why I'm most excited about this, truthfully. Is I love giving back. When I was at Steve Train's podcast in Phoenix, I said something about I love helping women and inspiring women. And there was a negative comment on there, and he's like, well, that's not fair that you'll only help women. It's not like that. Like, I took 3 days out of my life to like go down there and speak and be on a podcast. I think people don't realize, I mean, we're all new and we all reach out and we all want help. But like what you're doing, RJ, with your podcast and Ryan's vision to start this mastermind, both the Rising Stars and the Next Level, and me doing podcasts and speaking events, it takes a lot of time. And when I do those things, and I know, you two as well, we have so many people reach out to us and they're like, hey, can you help me? Hey, can you be my mentor? And although I would absolutely love to, I'm not going to continue to be able to grow my business, learn more, and help and teach more if I stay stagnant. And my goal is not to be a guru. Like, I am doing everything every single day in order to bring you the best information, the best value, and what's working right now today. And so when people reach out to me, I'm going to now have a platform to send them, which is the Rising Stars. So the Rising Stars content is going to basically look, anything from how are you pulling your list? Where are you pulling your list from? Why are you pulling your list from there? Do you guys know that there are some places that you shouldn't pull your list in, like a Texas or a Florida? There's non-disclosure states, which mean you have to be specific and thoughtful about where you're pulling your list from, because the data is not always even. Skip tracing. Who do you use for skip tracing? How do you determine what you want to skip trace? Well, wait, this person's going to charge me 3 cents to skip trace. Well, we need to teach you about the difference in data and which data is good data and which data is okay data, but you're probably leaving off 5 phone numbers and getting 5 that are fake, not purposely, but things like that. How do you, I've done my 5th deal. I'm looking to now do 2 at a time instead of 1. How do I do that? Who's the first person that I'm going to hire? Those are all questions that somebody doing 5 deals may not have anybody but themselves. They may have 1 person on their team. How are they going to know their second person on their team? And we can give them exercises as to find out what gives them energy, what takes away their energy, what they're good at, what they're not good at. There's so many things that encompass that growth from the 5 to 25 to the 30 to 100. It's a lot. And so all of those questions will be answered. There's going to be content. Ryan has got amazing video content that he puts out all the time about how to be really good as far as acquisitions in the home with the homeowner. Ryan is phenomenal at it. I have done a lot of marketing. So I've touched a lot of different marketing channels, and I know what's working, what's not. I've had to turn it all off. I've had to pivot, and I feel I'm pretty good at those things. And RJ is outstanding at relationships, doing large deals, and doing them all over the place. So it's really a good mix, and we can all bring to the table everything that we know and help get you to that next level, no matter what that question is.
How often when you're talking about this, Jamie, do you say, we can take you to the next level? Do you feel like you say next level all the time now? Because that's what I feel like I do.
I feel like I've always said it, and then I see it all the time now, like level up or next level on different people's hashtags, not even really knowing that. But I guess, yeah, I do notice it more, that's for sure.
Right. So, Ryan, real quick, why don't you kind of wrap up there on the content side of things, maybe more focus on the next level flipping for the people that are doing 25 plus more deals. What kind of content can people expect in that group? And what value do they get just strictly from the content side of things?
I'm going to selfishly answer the other question first, and then I'll get to that one. I'm going to politic you right here because I wish you would have called on me instead of Jamie. So I am so excited about the content in Next Level Rising Stars. And the reason I'm passionate about it is I just helped a friend out recently who is doing 20 deals a year. He has an acquisition rep. He's got a project manager, and he has a transaction coordinator. Sounds cool, right? You know what his biggest problem is he hired B and C players. And when he hired them, some of them could have turned into an A player, but he didn't onboard them properly. He doesn't do daily meetings like he should and the right kind of structured meetings. He's not doing his weekly meetings properly. Even his core values, like he has core values, but he didn't really communicate it properly when he was hiring them. Just that onboarding and hiring process, it's kind of a step above what Jamie was saying is like, we'll teach you how to get your first hire. Some of you might have an acquisition rep or might have a project manager. You're on to that first or second hire in your business. But the difference between having a B player and an A player is a night and day difference. And I really, really feel passionate about that. And I'm going to spend a lot of time helping you guys figure out how to get those A players and build your. So the answer, we are all about legacy and building cash flow. And I mean, we had a guy on the group the other day that sold his business for $630 million. He's basically paying Monopoly. He's playing Monopoly around the United States, buying self-storage and land and industrial buildings. And it just, you know, we're bringing on a guy that I can get further details about this, but these guys that are already at our next level, like they took that leap from flipping houses, and I might still always flip houses. I might never get out of it, right? But they're doing self-storage and mobile home parks, and they're doing bigger things that a lot of us want to figure out how to get to someday. So that's definitely a big part of it, right? Apartment complexes, that kind of stuff, and how to transition your business into that. But a lot of it is the tactics on a day-to-day basis. And I can't stress that enough, because if you're going to quarter meetings, or you're just watching old YouTube videos about text message marketing, guess what? The law just changed recently, like last week, on the compliance around text message marketing. And you might not have a clue about that because you're watching some video from 2 months ago, or you're at your quarter meeting last time at your mastermind, they talked about doing it and you finally implement it. In our group, it's up-to-date content on what currently is working. And that's a huge difference in what sets us apart.
Yeah, and another thing is that we're going to have our vendors, the people that actually run those companies, they're going to be members in the group. And so, for example, Beast Mode CRM, Donald Ross is in our groups, and that's one of our vendors that you get a discount with. If you sign up and you have Beast Mode and you have a question, it's going to be as simple as we can tag Donald in there, and we want you posting in the group so everybody can see it and learn from that moment, and they can search for it in the future. These are all just so valuable, and we're already ourselves reaping the benefits of the Next Level Flipping group. So I'm beyond excited for Rising Stars. I wish we were already a month in so I could already be in, because one of the things that, you know, I feel passionate about and I really want to bring to the content, and it's something that I've gotten feedback from a lot of our listeners, is I love being creative with deal structure. And I want people coming in and talking about deals and how they structured them. I'm going to be showing some of the deals that we do and how we structure them. We do a lot of JV deals. We do a lot of partnering, and we do a lot of virtual stuff. And you know, then you've got Ryan that's doing 70 to 100 flips. Doesn't really wholesale that much, but he flips a lot because he sees the value in that. That's monumental to have somebody like that on your team that you can easily ask a question if you're looking to do some more flips. Jamie's out there a wholesaling machine. I'm kind of the hodgepodge between the two. Apparently, I just like drinking from a fire hydrant because I like to do a lot of both of them. I don't keep track of how many because we're in so many different markets. I also like to buy rentals, and I like to do owner finance. So there's a collective group here, a leadership that is bringing a ton of different strategies and experience, like real life experience, guys. I mean, we're not coming from an educational platform saying we're going to teach you how to do this. We're still in our businesses. Jamie and I a little bit more than Ryan. Ryan's found a way to work out of his business a little bit more, but that's awesome. And I plan on learning from Ryan on how he's done that. So super excited to be able to make this announcement, guys. Real quick, let's kind of wrap up here. Jamie, what are some of your final thoughts about Next Level Flipping and thoughts for our listeners here?
So Next Level Flipping is everything that we just talked about. I feel like we've gone over some amazing major points, but I think the thing that hits home the most with me is that, you know, we all are still in our business, and we're all at different places within our business. I look up to Ryan all the time. He can do 120 days of vacation a year. Like, who doesn't want to get to that point in your business, you know? So I think there's just so many different levels and facets of business within these groups that it doesn't matter what you're looking to learn. Someone within the group is going to understand and know how to help lead and guide you to the place that you're trying to get in your business. And we are all about like that work-life balance. So you do have to grind, I get that, but we don't want to teach you to grind and forget about your family or forget about things most important to you. Those are very important core values to us. We want to treat people well and reciprocate that. So those are things that I think are most important, and what I'm so excited and why I really enjoy being a part of this group is I feel like I will not be capped. I can continue learning, and there's 50 people doing way more than I am in the group. And I get to also give back, and then we all have very similar core values, and that means a lot to me.
Ryan, what are your final thoughts, and how can people find out more about Next Level Flipping?
It's just an absolute no-brainer to sign up. I mean, the most feedback I get from people, there's two types of people, right? Like, I'm trying to save $2,500 or $1,000 a year, and man, is it worth it? That's a lot of money. And I think that's about some of the people I talk to. Most people I talk to think I'm crazy, that we're crazy for not charging enough. I mean, I can't tell you how often I hear from people, I'm not sure if it's real because you're only charging $2,500, right? Like, if they didn't know me personally and understand my passion for helping people grow and being a part of growth, and not all the education is coming from me, but I push and I get the best from everybody and I get them to collaborate together. It's just an absolute no-brainer to pay $2,500 for the higher level group or $1,000 a year for the Rising Stars group, and just the amount of content and the amount you'll grow your business. Just hiring that A player acquisition person versus the B player, you're going to do 10 more deals a year because of it. And if your average profit's 15 grand, which I think might be low, even 10 grand, I mean, just do the math on that real fast. So that's my takeaway is don't get caught up in the costs. Like, really, you need to be in this. Like, there's really no reason why you shouldn't join the Rising Stars if you're doing 5 to 25. It's a no-brainer to be a part of it.
Exactly. Real quick, I want to kind of spin off of that just yesterday, I had the opportunity to do my first test sales pitch for the Rising Stars program. A buddy of mine, I've known him probably for the past 9 months. We have just briefly spoken a couple of times. I've helped him out with a couple of deals. Really cool story. Back in January, he had a deal that we tried to JV and wholesale, and we couldn't find a buyer for it. It was a unique property. It was a barn dominium, and nobody wanted to take a chance on it because there were no comps for barn dominiums. And he believed in it so much. And I told him, I said, man, if you believe in this deal, then put your money where your mouth is. Go out there and do it. And so he did. And he went out there, and I think he ended up making like $45,000 on the flip. And he said, how can I ever thank you? And I said, I just want you to make a video and post it in our Facebook group. And so he did that. And I haven't spoken to him since that moment until yesterday. He said, hey, I've got a wholesale deal. Are you interested in it? And I said, absolutely. It was a newer build, cosmetic rehab. And he said, I'm just looking to wholesale this one. Let me know what your price would be. Before I could get him my price, he comes back and he says, never mind. The sellers are being delusional about the price. They want too much for it. And I said, hold on. Did you just watch my video from last week where I talked to a seller and I made an offer for $122,000 less than what her asking price was and contracted it? And he goes, yes, RJ, I listened to your videos. And this is the moment where I was like, okay, I'm going to try to sell them on Rising Stars. I said, hey, you should join my group, Rising Stars. It's $99 a month. And his response literally was, why are you not charging more for that group? And I just told him, I said, because to me, there's nothing more enjoyable. I enjoy doing helping him out for free that first time where he made $45,000. Like, it literally brought me to tears when he sent me the message and said, dude, I took your advice. I put my money where my mouth was, and now I made $45,000.
That's awesome.
To know that we can impact hundreds, if not thousands of people with the way that we carry ourselves, the way our experience, the knowledge that we have had, the vendors that we use, that's why we're doing Next Level Flipping, because we want to reach more people. And in order to do that, yeah, we have to monetize it, but we're keeping it affordable. And so without, that's my core reason why I want to be a part of Next Level Flipping, is because there's nothing more enjoyable in this business than being able to help other people. So for that being said, it's nextlevelflipping.com. Go on there, apply, sign up today. I look forward to helping all of you guys. Jamie, Ryan, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to join the Next Level Flipping family. And I look forward to doing this here in a couple of years, talking about how crazy of a thing this has grown into.
Awesome. Thanks, RJ.
All right, guys. Talk to y'all soon.
See you guys.